signal.
So this is the Garmin Inreach. This is my GPS device. This allows me to both track our progress on the map, and it also allows me to message through GPS my wife or anyone that I have programmed into the phone, and I can do it through my phone. So this ties to an app on my phone, the Garmin Explorer app. I just go on there, type a text message just like normal, and it goes through here, out the GPS signal, into whoever I'm trying to send a message to. It's a good device. SOS button is the main reason I got it, and that's in case you get in trouble in the backcountry. Coolest things about hiking. You never know what you're gonna get. You're just on the trail, and then, you know, there's a waterfall, and as you're getting closer, it's getting louder and louder and bigger, and you don't know what to expect. You just, you know, it's the anticipation, and you get so much of that when you're hiking. You can read all the reviews and look everything up as much as you want, even look at photos, but until you're there in person, you just don't get the experience. It's not the same. I'm using AllTrails to track the hike. If you're using AllTrails, you gotta make sure you download the trail before coming out to places like this, or it won't work. This is the White Oak Canyon Trail, so we're going counterclockwise around this loop. We're gonna make it up to the top, which is where Skyline Drive is, and then tomorrow morning we're gonna hike Hawksbill Summit for sunrise. So what I find myself doing most of the time is using my phone for all trails. That's how I keep track of where we are, where we're going, and all the details. It's a great platform, but you know, All Trails doesn't have that reliability as far as an emergency goes. So I still like to set my GPS unit up for every hike. The problem I have with it, it's like a 2001 interface. It's very old. It just feels old. And you know, when you're used to such advanced tech, that kind of sucks. But you know, it's all about that right there. If you get in trouble in the woods, and it can be easy, it can happen fast. You can slip, twist your ankle, break your ankle, you know, it can happen really fast. And the more hiking you do, one wet rock and you're in trouble. And so having that SOS button is going to get you help instantly. That's a really nice feature. Just wish they had made it so it was a little more advanced and up to today's tech standards, especially for the price. I think it's over $400. But you know, giving people that you care about peace of mind and knowing where you are, being able to message them, it's worth it. We're going to take a little bit of a shortcut here. If you went the proper way, you would go up there and cross on that bridge down there.
Well, we're gonna go there.
Let's do it. It's legit. A little wobble to her. Oh! What happened was, where'd you step? Right there?
No, I stepped right there.
And your feet were already wet.
No, I stepped on this whole thing. Looked like so it looked like that. It looked like that here. And I stepped on it thinking this was a flat rock. And I just slid down, and then my pack just took me.
So the lesson for today, always take the bridge. That's our water source. We ran basically completely out of water. We came over Skyline Drive, and on the other side where the Hawksbill trailhead is, and we saw some people walking and asked them if they saw water, and they said they did. It was coming out of a pipe. So we have our Sawyer filters, and we filtered it. So it's cold. It's really cold. So it's definitely mountain water, and it's clear. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you run out of water. So we got our water, and now we've come back to the other side, and we're gonna kind of go down the trail we were originally planning to go down and camp. The reason we didn't do it to start with, we probably should have, is it looks so dry. I mean, everything is really dry.
You guys have a great night.
I'm pushing in a nice bed, so.
Hey, I do it to myself.
You see how dry it looks? It's just, I don't know. It was concerning that, you know, just because it shows a stream on the map doesn't mean it's actually there. So we have water. Now we're looking for flat ground and 2 trees to hang a hammock off.
This is why tent camping sucks.
This is the struggle backcountry camping. If you have a hammock, you can always find 2 trees that are, you know, what you need. But with tent camping, especially in the mountains, you know, you have a lot of rocks, you have underbrush, slope is a big one, and it's tricky to find a spot, especially on trails where they're not established camping places. But that's what makes it fun. Like if you want to go to a campground, drive to the campground. This is backcountry camping, and it's a struggle with a tent a little bit. So we have the Nemo Tent. This is the Nemo Hornet. Two person or single? Two person.
2-person. This is the Nemo sliding board.
She's on a bit of an angle, but he's going to be able to make it work. Tent stakes are some rocks. We're using the jet boil to make some dinner. And that's my setup. I have the hummingbird hammock set up, and the rainfly, the underquilt, which is 30 degrees, the hammock itself, and then the bug net. It's a bit hard to find places to stake everything down because everywhere you go, it's just really rocky. So we were up. It's about 6 o'clock. Didn't sleep well. Our campsite kind of sucks. It's on a big slope. We're gonna eat some breakfast skillet and Mountain House breakfast skillet. That's where it's at when it hydrates properly. And then we're gonna hike up to the top of Mount Hawksbill, which is the tallest peak in the park, at just over 4,000 feet. And we're gonna try to get a sunrise there.
I think I did the same thing I normally do. I fell asleep early, I think. Even though I was like that half asleep.
Wow. Took 45 minutes to get up. The view is, it's hard to describe. It's amazing. The view is absolutely amazing. We got Old Rag Mountain over here, which I climbed that a couple weeks ago. That was a fun climb, but we got inverted clouds everywhere throughout the valley. I've never done a sunrise, even a sunset, a little bit of a sunset summit. But man, I think I have more in the future. We're just talking about how fast the sun rises, and sets for that matter. But I mean, it's like you can almost see it rising, in the sky. You're looking at it and the bottom's still under the clouds over there. And then the next thing you know, the bottom's above the clouds. It's a really cool thing when you're paying attention to it. Something you easily miss, just on your average sunset. But when you're up here with something like this, what they have up here is like a viewing area they've built. This is the actual summit. This is Hawksbill Mountain. Look at that. It's the highest point in Shenandoah National Park. What's kind of cool is before you get to the actual summit, though, you got to keep going past this first spot. I'm going backwards, so you'd be coming in from this direction. There's this little path here through the woods. Can't miss it. And you get another overlook here on that's going to be the west side. Be perfect for sunset. And so you got, this over here, nice view. And then there's this building where you can hang out, eat some lunch. How'd you like to be the person that built that? Or the group of people way up here? Just a steady climb, nothing too steep. Pretty easy. Took, I don't know, a little less than an hour. We'll go back down the short way. We're crossing back over Skyline Drive, and now we're going to start our descent back. What's this one? This trail is called Cedar Run, I believe. Opposite side of the valley or gorge, whatever you want to call it, that we came up yesterday. That's perfect. We started here, and we went this way. We took this fire road, and then we backtracked just a little bit into here, and that's where we camped, which was a really horrible spot. We should have camped over here. And then we crossed over and did the mountain over here. You could definitely see us if you're coming this way. We stick out, don't we?
Really? Especially mine.
This is where we hung our food.
Definitely is a lot closer. I can just remember walking across it.
So what we did wrong is we picked the wrong spot to camp. We kind of made a camping spot rather than picking a camping spot. And I thought it was just gonna be a problem for Richie with the tent, but it was also a problem with me, and it was harder to actually see. With the tent, you could kind of see you're going downhill. And so that doesn't seem like a big deal, but in the middle of the night when you're on your sleeping bag and on your sleeping pad, you just fall towards the lowest point of the tent. It's just, I mean, it's almost impossible to stop it, I guess, unless you do some type of rubber grippers or Velcro, and even then, I don't know. And with the hammock, I thought I had it pretty good, but once you get in it, you don't realize the magnitude of the slope that you're on until you get in the hammock or tent. I was sliding that way the whole night, so I got out and raised the foot string on the tree and dropped the head string, but then I ended up only about 2 inches off the ground. I couldn't do any more without redoing everything. So it was dark, so I made it happen. I just kind of was pushed up against the end of it, but it is what it is. We made it through it. We learned. Nice little stream crossing here. You gotta be real careful here. You gotta look for the tree in the middle that has the blaze on it. That's the only real way you'll know where to go. A little pit stop here at Cedar Falls, which is about 2/3 of the way down. Pretty cool spot. All right, so we're back to the truck. It was, let's see, a total of all trails says a 13.5 mile trip. We cut it short just a little bit because instead of going down the backside of Hawksbill, we came back down the way that we went up. See, if you do this loop, you have two choices. You can go up the right side, which is called, do you remember what it's called?
White Oak Falls.
White Oak Falls, and you have like 3 waterfalls, a lot of switchbacks, and so they're not fun. But if you go up Cedar Falls trail, there's a lot of steps. It's just step after step after step. So it's doable. It's just going to be a lot harder and take longer. Temperatures were about low 70s in the daytime, although it was a bit humid, so it feels warm, like right now. Definitely got a sweat going on. The temperature last night was mid 50s, low 50s, but it didn't get there until really late in the night. So right up until probably 11, it was still pretty warm. As far as camping, hammock camping I think is definitely necessary because your options are so limited in this whole area, this whole loop, with trying to find a flat spot, especially if you want it near some water. So hammock camping is the way to go here. And I think what I learned, again, ran short on water again, and it's to fill up whenever you're leaving the water. So if you're at the end of a stream or you're getting close to where you're starting to go away from it, fill up. Regardless of what a map says, there's nothing more real than the actual flowing water in front of your face. So, definitely heed to that and fill up your water before you get away from the water source. We didn't die from the water from the old rickety pipe. I think the reason we were comfortable drinking out of that was because it was so cold. It had to be straight from the mountain. It's not like it could be a runoff pipe or something. It was so cold. It was at least 40, maybe colder. We're in October, so it was a good trip. I had an awesome time. I always have a great time when I go with my buddy Richie, and it's just, you never know what you're gonna get into. That's the cool thing about these hikes. You never know what obstacles you're gonna run into and how you're gonna overcome them. And it's a lot of fun. I appreciate you watching the video. Please share it with your family, your friends. Help me grow the channel by getting a bigger reach. That would mean a lot to me. Like it, leave any questions or comments down below. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have an awesome week.